TV star. From Philadelphia to Hollywood Boulevard. This ain't no music video. Take my hand, we'll go.
Okay, we're back. I first fell in love with this guy as the angst-ridden teenager from the nighttime soap Seal Award vehicle Once and Again. He went on to do a lot of stage and screen, starred with Mandy Moore in A Walk to Remember, and is currently enjoying a gig as part of the ensemble cast of ER. But tonight, he was in town for the critically acclaimed biopic called What We Do Is Secret, where he played Darby Crash, the misunderstood, tortured lead singer of The Germs. Take a look.
All right, now I am here with the fabulous Shane West. Hey, Shane, how are you?
Very good.
So, Shane, like, I just sort of want you to like walk me through this whole, project, because I was so intrigued when I read, all about how it came to be. So, does the project comes your way, and it intrigues you because you like that era, or you knew the Germs, or the script was good, or what?
I was born in '78, in the middle of pretty much when the scene started, and my parents were in bands of similar style and substance in Louisiana, where I was born. So it was the music I listened to, pretty much forced to listen to by my parents, because it was what they were listening to. So for me, just getting into this scene and having the opportunity to play such an iconic character as Darby Crash, and be able to also be in a scene that I loved growing up, was a huge opportunity. And I met Roger Grossman, the director, and we got along very well, and just kind of swapped stories and talked about the scene. And before you knew it, we were giving it a shot. Thankfully, it was a scene that I enjoyed. It was music that I enjoyed, and I'd had my own band for about 7 or 8 years, so I like to perform. So it was fun to be able to do that as well. So I mean, it was a lot of work, but it was so much fun that it didn't really matter the lack of sleep we got, the hours of work we put in, the hours of work we put in on our off time, and it was just an absolute pleasure.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. How does it work when with the biopic? Like, do the Germs have a say in who gets cast, or are they somehow working with the film to make sure everything's authentic, or how does that work with the actual surviving members?
It was more from the music perspective. Roger got Pat Smear, the guitar player, on board to be our musical consultant, our teacher, the one who taught the rest of the actors, or the baby Germs, as he called us, to act like we were doing, to know what we were doing. Because Roger wanted it to be authentic, so did we, so did Pat, and we spent a good 3 months before we ever started production, learning all the songs, the group learning their instruments, and it was very much like the Germs did in 25 years before that. Right. Learning all the songs, writing all the songs, but learning at their instruments at the same exact time. Right. We kind of left him alone to do all the work and to tell us what to do and what was authentic musically.
Okay. At what point did you actually meet them, and what was that like?
Man, that's a good question, because it's so hard to remember now. It's like, Pat off the bat, no pun intended, or didn't mean to rhyme, but he it was like right away, and because we got into the rehearsals right away. Lorna was nowhere to be found, and he found her out of New York and brought her to a rehearsal, and she surprised us, and we all kind of guessed if that was her, and then she kind of joined after that, and Don jumped in right away to help out with the drums and how he set up his drum kit and the style he played, and so it was pretty immediate. We hadn't shot any footage yet before I knew the band.
Wow. Okay. Now, a lot of time, I love to do my homework, but all the screeners were out, so I didn't see the film, and I hate, not knowing anything about the film. But does his sexual preference come into play, like in the film?
Oh yeah. He was a very beloved guy, for men and women, and it's a passionate thing. There's a lot of people who believe he wasn't gay. There's a lot of people who believe he was bisexual. There's a lot of people who are adamant he was straight. And we have the truth out there, but we wanted to make sure that it was more or less the story of him growing up and with his 5-year plan, and showing the growth of the band, the transitions, his drug use when things were going down. But his homosexuality was definitely addressed, but he wasn't you know, in this scene with this music, it wasn't a very acceptable thing, and so he wasn't really able to show that very much. So a lot of it was very hidden. He definitely didn't go around, yelling it out. I think if people knew, they knew. But he was also the first one. They were the first one to, to fight back if someone said something he didn't like to hear. So, there is proof out there that he had, lovers and he had boyfriends, and but it's just funny to see how the scene sometimes loves to talk about it, like, or to not talk about it.
I think it just gets like grouped into that whole like New York Dolls and Bowie and the androgyny and the whole makeup on men.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, he was, a huge Bowie fan, and he created a couple of characters before he, discovered Darby Crash. So, or created Darby Crash.
So Darby Crash died on December 7th, 1980, which I did not know. And, of course, that is the day before John Lennon, the actual day before John Lennon, which is unbelievable. And what when I went on to look at his bio, they said that Casey Cola died as well. Who was that? Because that was not a name that was...
Casey Cola was a woman around in the scene that was, not the most savory of characters. She didn't die. What truly happened was he had his 5-year plan, and he went to kind of end it. They played their last show, which was supposed to be the most amazing show that they had ever played, and he was going to, die of an overdose, and she wanted to be a part of it, but he also knew what he was doing. He didn't want to take her with him or anything like that, so he shot her up with enough that she was unconscious but not dead, and then he died. And so Casey had the burden of dealing with everyone's wrath afterwards, of being the only one there to witness this. It was her fault, yada yada yada, and so she's not passed away. She was just one of the crazy characters that were around at the time.
But not in the band or anything. No, she was just, okay. So we're almost done now. We're almost done. All right. What? So whose idea was it to relaunch the Germs with you in it?
I don't know whose idea it was, but I mean, it might have been just a collective idea. But I mean, had a lot of fun just doing it, and Don and Pat and Lorna had a lot of fun being on set and watching the musical performances. And we did we ran out of financing when we ran out of financing the first time. We had a rap party where Pat made the Baby Germs perform. We played 4 or 5 songs, and then the real Germs got on stage, and which they hadn't done in like 25 years, and to play about 4 more songs with me singing. It was a great reaction. They decided to do a couple of shows with me as the singer, and they went really well. And then they just had so much fun doing it that we kind of just kept playing and been doing it for the last couple of years.
Shane West, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Okay, all right, great. Just say hi to Philly really quick.
Hi, Philly. How you doing?
Fabulous. Okay, after the break, well, Beverly Leslie. Back in a minute.